German peacekeepers have been in Bosnia for well over a decade. Missions like this one beyond Germany's borders have become routine for the Bundeswehr. Wolfgang Menzel went to Bosnia in the summer of 2000 working as a medic. He's been in the armed forces for 30 years. He says the pressures have definitely increased. His problems began when he lost a friend in an accident.
Der Tod eines Kamerads.
Then came the death of one of my buddies. He was killed in a traffic accident. He was brought to us in the field hospital. I was in the X-ray container, and suddenly there he was, lying there.
Menzel took the death very badly, but no one, neither his commanders nor other troops, really noticed at the time. A few weeks later, he was out on a trip delivering aid.
I got out of the vehicle and this child came up to me holding a hand grenade with the pin removed, saying, "Bomba, bomba." The child wanted to give me this live hand grenade. I knew as long as the child didn't let go of the grenade, nothing would happen. So there I was. I had to respond. I don't want to talk about it anymore because then everything comes flooding back. And I don't want that anymore.
For a whole 2 hours, Menzel held the child's hand around the grenade to stop the explosion, taking the child in his arms. The local villagers were petrified that the grenade would go off. It was a 2-hour nightmare before others finally came to defuse it. Like a film, the scenes from that experience play out repeatedly in his mind. Army Dr. Peter Zimmermann says more and more soldiers are experiencing problems after returning from missions abroad. He's decided to admit Menzel to the hospital again.
Do all the old scenes from your time abroad keep coming up when you're in certain situations? Are they very vivid, or what is it like? So even when we're talking about it now, is it immediately difficult for you?
Menzel used to be a cheerful person, but no more. He's ruined his teeth by grinding them through stress. He's even worn through replacement dentures. He suffers from nightmares, insomnia, and his marriage has broken down. Post-traumatic stress disorder results when people are unable to process traumatic experiences. The patient is haunted by his memories.
Sometimes those memories are very real. They're like flashbacks. Sometimes the individual has nightmares and they wake up soaked in sweat again and again. They relive the experiences that they can't process.
Awareness of the problem has increased, and lawmakers in Berlin have also discussed the subject. It took a long time for the Bundeswehr to acknowledge that soldiers can be wounded not only physically, but also emotionally. Last year, there were nearly 250 cases.
I think we need first of all to set up a research center to investigate the problem. And secondly, we need to do everything possible to ensure that soldiers make use of the help available.
Many soldiers are reluctant to admit they have a problem, concerned that it could affect their careers. They don't even realize what the problem is. But when people try to hide their condition, things generally get worse.
We know from our fathers and uncles who served in the Second World War that they suffered emotional problems, but no one was interested, and it was never sorted out. Now that we know more today, we need to make sure we apply that knowledge strategically and effectively.
But for many, panic attacks and nightmares are a sign of weakness. They don't fit with the image of a tough soldier. And there are still members of the armed forces who think of colleagues who become sick as wimps.
We often have patients who are extremely strong, extremely resourceful. But as fate would have it, they've experienced things that can break even a strong person. That's just the way it is. It has nothing to do with being a wimp.
Most patients overcome their trauma with the help of doctors, but not everyone. Menzel feels misunderstood by colleagues and superiors. Originally, he'd planned to return to his job.
I always enjoyed working with other soldiers, with the equipment, the vehicles. I liked treating patients, the drills. It was my world. But then came the comments. People thought I was faking it. Oh, he comes from the medical field. He knows just what to do. Comments like that.
Wolfgang Menzel has since built up a new life for himself, but he hasn't gotten over his fears. He's hopeful a new Bundeswehr trauma center will help him. But for now, he's just signed into a psychiatric clinic again, for the 4th time.